The duo, Bradley Rimmer and Kimberley Taylor, have scooped an award for creating an app that can save you money on petrol. The founders of the developers, that's Cowa Bunga App, are here with me to share more about this revolutionary work. Bradley, Kimberley, many thanks for making time to speak to us. First of all, where's the money? I heard you guys won big. Yeah, where is the money?
The money, it's going to come through, I suppose, getting our company out there and getting some scale, and then I think we can definitely talk about that.
Kimberley, very often when it's more like the lottery, when someone hits big in this startup stuff, hit the jackpot, usually they go under in less than 3 years. Tell me, what are you guys making sure, how are you making sure that you don't go under in less than 3 years?
I think what we do is, with a new startup, I think you learn to crawl first, and then you learn to walk, and then you learn to run, and then maybe you learn to sprint. So we take quite a staggered approach to each client and make sure that we don't fumble along the way.
Well, my manners. Bradley, I should have started with what is the app about? What is Cowa Bunga?
100%. Maybe I can just take you through Cowa Bunga. I suppose the aim of Cowa Bunga was to apply technology to the last mile supply chain. Utilizing Kim's engineering background and an algorithm she built that proved the traveling salesman problem, and my years of experience in logistics. I suppose the idea, the project of Cowa Bunga was born. The project started about 3 years ago. Since then we went through a funding round which allowed us to develop the platform, and since then we've actually deployed the platform into a live environment as of the 17th of July last year. The focus initially was on the fast food space, and very recently we're actually in a transition phase now to get into a new industry, being more focused around the e-commerce delivery for logistics companies.
Right. Let me maybe just try and simplify this, because I didn't understand much of what you said.
100%.
With an engineering background and of course the logistics work that you are going on about, how, if you were to write a book, Cowa Bunga for Dummies, how would you explain it to me? Let me start with you, Kimberley.
I think maybe let's start by just explaining what last mile delivery space is, and that's where we're working. Yeah. So it's that the last part of the supply chain where a delivery is taken from its last point of departure to a consumer. That's where we focus. And in that space there are a lot of frustrations because there's so many touch points, and that creates a lot of frustration, and that's what we're trying to solve. So Cowa Bunga goes to clients, whether it's a fast food client and we're delivering a pizza, or whether it's a retail client and we're delivering shoes. You know, the same frustrations might exist, and what we use is technology and to alleviate these frustrations within the space.
I think one thing that's quite fascinating, often when it comes to these apps, it's a lot of emphasis goes towards the demand end of things. And this for me, it's not very common to see an app that is trying to tackle the supply end of things. Tell me, what inspired this? Let me start with you, Brad.
100%. So I think maybe to answer your question, we are definitely focused on the supply, but from our clients to their consumers. So not focusing on the consumer receiving. Yes, there's a huge aspect of that the platform provides for. But what we're trying to do is go to these clients, to specific clients, and understand what their specific customer requirement is. So in a fast food, there's a huge time constraint in getting a delivery to a customer while the food's still hot. In e-commerce environments, it's how do you deliver goods most cost effective as possible. So what we do is there's a huge focus that we spend a lot of time with our clients understanding what is that specific requirement, and then applying and actually configuring our platform to deliver that. And that gets you to your customer base.
Of course, the burning question here for all our viewers is how does it help the average Joe out there? Kimberley?
So I think it's not right now for the average Joe. I think it's more for businesses, whether those are small scale and you have a little franchise fast food, and how do we help you utilize those bikes that are doing deliveries more optimally and save you fuel that way, or larger scale businesses and better utilizing their assets on the road and making sure there's less dead time, less unnecessary kilometers driven. So yeah, that's where we focus.
Definitely, and one thing that's very fascinating about this is you are collecting a lot of data in the process. And just this year, Cambridge Analytica, last year, big data breaches from Alphabet to Twitter, and we could go on about data breaches out there. What safeguards are there to make sure that we do not have data breaches in this app as it is? Let me start with maybe the engineer.
So the data we're collecting is not unsafe in any ways. It's more GPS location data. We have an incredible development company down in Cape Town which has worked on our platform, and we've worked very hard on it for the past year, making sure that there are no bugs within our platform. And we've been running for a year now, from the 17th of July last year, within the fast food space, fully bug-free.
Brad, data?
Yeah, just to add on that, I think one thing we're doing is we're relying on some of these bigger companies to also help us. So our data is stored securely within Google Cloud services. And then I think also further operationally, we get a lot of input from our investors, Lightstone, and they are huge huge data miners within South Africa. So I think both building the technology correctly to be safe, and then getting some safeguards with companies who have a lot of experience in understanding this data and how to manage this data going forward. So I think we've got a unique opportunity there.
It's very fascinating because we do know that close to 60% of the GDP figure is ultimately consumption. And you are looking at the supply end of things, which is an opportunity, but can also be a challenge, especially when you are in a technical recession like we are right now. And that begs the question: how do you scale this? What parameters are there for scaling this? Is it dependent on how many stores are opened up? Is it dependent on retail sales? How do you scale this?
Yes, do you want to go, Kim?
No.
I think one thing when scaling this product, so again, we do have the challenge in scaling as that we consider every client a new take on, a new deployment. But the opportunity is in that we really get to reduce costs for these companies. So we're talking, some of the largest fast food franchises in the country, talking really big logistics companies. When you start pulling out serious cost out of that cost saving can get pushed onto the eventual consumer. And again, so a challenge with scalability, but I think a lot of opportunity in showing real cost saving.
And I think exactly that, and when we implement within a month, we see initial time reductions on drivers' time on the road, and again going to that fuel saving, and that's where we see a quick return on investment of implementing our software within these spaces.
Before I let you go, guys, Cowa Bunga, how did you come up with the name?
I think we started through this whole project, this last 3 years. We tried to, I come from a corporate background. Kim pretty much almost went into a very corporate engineering career. And we said we want to start this because we want to make a change. So how can we do it creatively and make sure we stick to this core of being creative and fun? Yes. The name came up with that, and I think it'll also be very awesome to go to some of these big companies and see the CEO saying he wants to partner with Cowa Bunga.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Many thanks for making time to speak to us. That was Kim and Bradley talking to us about a new app that will reduce fuel costs.